So I had this little discussion with this asshole, this guy named Jazex. And I had it on Phil Helene's video. And I made a claim that the organism, the person, is aware, not is aware, knows everything about the universe. And he jumped on it like, oh, it was Christmas. Like, oh, I got her now. She made an extraordinary claim. I'm gonna nail her to the floor, to the ass, and impress Phil, my hero. So, okay, I was ready for his ass. So, Jazex jumps on my case and says, well, that's ridiculous. How could you do blah, 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 blah. How could you especially, well, I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know if you clicked on my username and went to my page and surmised something about my character, my thinking based on my picture. But he said, you especially. Well, of course, I told you he was an asshole. So he says, no, that's extraordinary. And I said to him, well, the only perceptive tool there is in the world is human consciousness. We build new ways of perceiving the world to extend the specifications of our organic detectors, our eyes, our ears, or sense of smell or sense of touch. We build equipment, we build the Hubble telescope, but ultimately we have to filter what the data received by the Hubble telescope and by the ruler and by the gram scale. We have to filter it through our own consciousness, our own eyes and ears, and the brain is the final gatekeeper of what we perceive. Perhaps maybe I should have been, I said, well, I wasn't sure whether the brain is equal to the mind, is equal to the psyche, but I lumped them all together and I said, well, the psyche, the brain, the mind filters what is perceived and determines the output, or rather what the meaning is based on what has been filtered and perceived, and the output is the contribution that the organism makes to the world, to reality, to the perception of reality. So, of course, he says, well, maybe so, that's right, but you made an extraordinary claim. Well, I don't think it's that extraordinary at all. I think we do know everything about the universe. I believe we do. And yes, of course, well, the scientists probably would say, oh, you're full of shit, XY. And I would say, well, I don't care if I'm full of shit. I have made that determination based on what I observe and what I know about perception, that I don't think it's an enormous logical leap from understanding perception and how it works, and the give and take between what seems to be out there and what is in here, and our filtering of that data, and the give and take, the input output mechanism, and I say input with a caveat, because I'm not even sure if there is anything out there, if it isn't just all in here. And I will talk more about that later, why I think that way. And so I said, it's not really that extraordinary, but I didn't want to continue the conversation because I would see where this was gonna go, right? So I thought about it afterward though, and I don't think it's extraordinary to think that the consciousness, the being, the organism knows everything there is to know about the universe. But it's something like, when you have a computer, just imagine your computer in your desktop, and you've got a whole bunch of icons on your desktop. And there are some icons that are lit up, and there are some icons that are grayed out. And you could click on the grayed out icons till the cows frickin' come home. The program will not start because your network administrator has denied you access. Okay? It says every time you double click on the icons, it says access denied. Why? Because your security settings have eliminated the possibility that you will have access to the data included in that program. And I would suggest to you, the listener, my darling, adorable subscribers, that the network administrator corresponds to the human belief system, what we believe is possible. And we have a bandwidth of belief. So it's a range of possibility. And anything outside of that range, which would be the grayed out icons, cannot filter into our conscious awareness. The data is there, the program is there, it's got all the lines of programming, it can run and whatnot, and people can see it, but you can't see it because your network administrator has denied you access to that possibility. And it is only when your possibilities change that you are able to receive that data. And that's just an analogy, just to kind of get you to see what I'm trying to say. Okay.